everyone, and welcome to Without Frame. If you're tuning in from previous videos, you know that this year I am doing a bunch of tiny little micro experiments just to get myself a little bit closer to the person I want to be and to refine joy in life. And right now we have our focus on this coloring book. So I bought this a few weeks ago and I have done some coloring over the past few days. I haven't filled it up, but I have been ticking and working away at it whenever I kind of get a chance that I'm in a zone where I'm not really doing anything. And so what we're going to do today is I am going to flip to this page and we are going to get started on finishing it. And you're going to hear why coloring is so important of a experiment to do in your life. Let's get to it.
My original plan was to take you all on a journey of creative discovery, an attempt to gently convince the world that even the smallest acts of craft can still be considered creativity, that even the quiet things, like coloring someone else's creations, are meaningful acts that strengthen our creative muscles. Because while something as small as coloring can seem negligible in the grand scheme of things, over time it helps us grow. It keeps us connected to the act of creating. It builds our creative process in subtle but lasting ways. But somewhere between buying this coloring book and slowly breathing life into these black and white pages, another idea began to form. Maybe this isn't just about flexing our creative muscles. Maybe it's bigger than that, broader. Maybe what really matters is allowing ourselves the space to play. Somewhere along the way, many of us were taught, directly or indirectly, that play is something we grow out of, that it's childish, indulgent, or only allowed once everything else is done. But play isn't extra. It isn't a reward. It's essential. And today I want to talk about why adult play matters, why we stop doing it, and how we can gently invite it back into our lives. From a biological standpoint, play is incredibly powerful. When we engage in play, especially low-stakes, enjoyable play, our brains release dopamine, the neurotransmitter linked to motivation and pleasure. But unlike dopamine from constant stimulation or scrolling, play creates a more sustainable reward loop. It's engaging without being draining. Play also helps regulate cortisol, our primary stress hormone. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, which can impact sleep, mood, immune function, and emotional regulation. Play gives the nervous system a signal that says you are safe enough to relax. There's also oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Playful interaction, whether with other people, pets, or even shared laughter at work, strengthens connection and trust. In short, play helps our brains feel safer, lighter, and more flexible, and that flexibility is key to emotional resilience. Unfortunately, play doesn't make life stress-free, but it changes how we meet stress. When we play, we practice adaptability, we experiment, we mess up and try again. That same mindset carries into difficult moments, helping us respond with curiosity instead of rigidity, creativity instead of overwhelm. Research on adult play consistently shows links to more positive mood, increased life satisfaction, and better emotional regulation. Play creates small, repeatable moments of joy that buffer against burnout. Not because life becomes easier, but because we become more resilient. So if play is so good for us, why do we stop? Part of it is cultural. As we grow older, play gets replaced with performance. We're rewarded for outcomes, efficiency, and achievement, not for exploration or joy. Hobbies turn into side hustles, creativity turns into content, rest turns into something we have to earn. Another reason is fear. Play requires presence. It asks us to go out of control, to be imperfect, to do something without a guarantee of payoff. And for adults, especially in a productivity-driven world, that can feel uncomfortable. Many of us don't lose the ability to play, we lost permission. One of the most important shifts in reclaiming play is focusing on the process over the outcome. Play is not about being good at something, it's about being with something. The moment play becomes about improvement, comparison, or productivity, it stops being play. Coloring is a great example. The benefit isn't finishing the page, it's in the rhythm of choosing colors, the feeling of the marker moving, the quiet attention it brings to the present moment. One way to think about play is as something deeply personal, not one size fits all. Not loud or obvious, but instinctive. Researchers and play theorists suggest that we each have a natural way of playing, a kind of internal rhythm that shapes how we experience joy, curiosity, and rest. Some frameworks described this as the play personalities, 8 distinct pathways through which play tends to show up in our lives. These pathways include the creator, the explorer, the joker, the kinesthetic, the competitor, the director, the collector, and the storyteller. You might recognize yourself clearly as one, you might feel drawn to a few, or you might notice that the ways you play have shifted with time, responsibility, or season. These aren't labels to memorize or boxes to squeeze yourself into. These are gentle mirrors, offering language for something you may already feel but haven't yet named. If you're curious, I invite you to explore them on your own. Read, reflect, wander, pay attention to the moments when you lose track of time, to the activities that soften your shoulders or quiet your mind, the kinds of joy that don't ask for improvement or proof, because understanding how you naturally play can make it easier to welcome it back, not as something forced or performative, but as something familiar, something that's been waiting patiently for you to notice it again. There is no hierarchy here, no better way to play. The goal is to simply notice what feels alive for you. If play feels distant, the key is to start small, almost deceptively small. You don't need to overhaul your life or add another thing to the to-do list. Start by rediscovering hobbies you once loved, without trying to monetize or optimize them. Notice playful moments already woven into your routine. Talking to your pets, joking with a coworker, being silly with kids, cooking without a recipe, taking a different route home, just to see what's there. Allow breaks from routine, not as laziness, but as nervous system care. And yes, play belongs at work too. That might look like creative problem solving, lighthearted conversations, gamifying tasks, or simply allowing moments of curiosity and experimentation with your role. Play doesn't mean you're not taking your work seriously. It means you're not taking yourself so seriously that joy disappears. As adults, play becomes quieter, softer, more intentional, but it's still there, waiting for permission. So maybe today, play looks like coloring a page without finishing it, or laughing for no reason, or doing something simply because it feels good to do. Not productive, not impressive, just human. And that might be more important than we've been led to believe.